continuing on with our study guide. So this one is the one that tends to be the most difficult for students to grasp. So what we always tell them is, we're going to show you ways to estimate it, but if you are like, I'm just really stuck, you can do the problem, you can do the workout and see what you get. So 1 7/8 minus 2/3. So we know that 1 7/8 is really close to 2 wholes. Minus 2/3. So we're taking away a little over half, but we're not taking away a whole. So that is going to end up between our 1 and 2. Because we're not, 7/8 minus 2/3 isn't going to put us down below a whole. 4 1/3 minus 3 1/2. Well, 4 minus 3 is 1. 1/3 minus 1/2. If I have 4 1/3 minus 3 1/2, I'm going to end up at less than 1. Our next one is 2/5 plus 1 3/7. So I know this is almost 1/2 and this is almost 1/2. So my 1 whole is going to stay the same, but I have less than 1/2 plus less than 1/2. So I know that even when I add these two fractions together, there's no way that's going to be another whole. So my total is going to be between 1 and 2 because I still have my 1 whole. These are going to get me really close to 2, but I'm not going to quite be there. 1 6/7 plus 1/6. 1 6/7, I know I'm super close to 2 wholes. This 1/6 is going to make it to where I'm going to be greater than a whole. So that's going to put me at greater than 2. Number 3, Toby has 3 1/4 cups of rice. He uses 2/3 cups to make dinner. How much rice does Toby have left? So the first thing we have to decide is, are we adding or are we subtracting? Well, we know that we had 3 1/4 cups. If he uses 2/3, that means we're going to take that 2/3 away to figure out how many he has left. So minus 2/3. My denominators aren't the same, so I have to make a common denominator. 4 isn't a multiple of 3. If I count by my multiples, 8 isn't a multiple of 3, but 12 is. So I can turn my 1/4 into 12 and my 2/3 into 12s. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12, so 2 times 4 is 8. Which means then I have 3 3/12 minus 8/12. So I'm always going to look to do my fractions first. I can't do 3 minus 8, which means I need to rename this whole. I'm going to go 1 less than 3 is 2, and then the other whole is going to be 12/12 because I know I'm working with 12s. So now, I'm going to go ahead and cross that 3 out because I'm not going to call it 3 anymore. I'm calling it 2 2/12. But I got my new 12/12, but my 3/12 didn't go away. So I need to combine those. So to combine them, I will add. So now, when I rewrite it, I have 2 3/12 plus 12/12 is 15/12 minus 8/12. Well, I can do 15 minus 8. That gives me 7/12. I have 2 minus, there's no whole here, so I can just bring my 2 down. So Toby has 2 7/12 cups of rice left. Back here, Kayla practices guitar for 1 3/4 hours, so we're going to circle it. Then she practices piano for 2 2/3 hours. Draw an arrow on the number line to create a model that represents the total number of hours Kayla practices guitar and piano. So I'm looking for total. That tells me I'm going to take her guitar and I'm going to add it to her piano time. So I'm going to start at my 1 3/4. So I know this is where I start. But when I add these, I run into the same thing that I did here, where I've got my denominators of 4 and 3. So I already know from my last problem that I'm going to need to turn them into 12s. 4 times 3 equals 12, 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 4 equals 12, 2 times 4 equals 8. So now I have 1 9/12 plus 2 8/12. So if I look at this, I'm at my 1 3/4, my 1 9/12, because this is broken into 12s. So if I count up 8/12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I'm at 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/12. So I'm going to write 2 and 5/12 because I went up 8/12. Now I need to add my 2 wholes. So 2 and 5/12 plus 2 wholes is going to put me at 4 and 5/12. Now I know that the number line is super confusing. So I'm going to come check myself. I know I do my fractions first. 9/12 plus 8/12 equals 17/12. Well, I know that 17/12 is an improper fraction, and I can't leave it like that for a mixed number. So I have 17 divided by 12. 12 can go into 17 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. 17 minus 12 is 5. That means that is 1 whole, and we have 5/12 left. So that's my fractional piece. Now this is where a lot of students get confused. They think this is their final answer. But we have to go back to our whole numbers because all we've done so far is take care of these fractions. So I know that 2 plus 1 is 3. So I have my whole number sum, my fraction sum, and I'm going to add those together to get 4 and 5/12, which is the same thing that I had found on my number line. And our last one. Mr. Perez has a desk with a broken leg. He puts 2 blocks of wood under the desk to hold it up. Then he realizes that he needs a third block. How many inches tall does the third block of wood need to be? So I can look and I can see, okay, so Mr. Perez needs all of these blocks to total 8 and 1/4 inches. So far, he has 4 and 5/8 and 2 and 3/4. And this is what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to need to do, it's going to be a 2-step problem. First of all, I need to figure out, well, how tall are these blocks that Mr. Perez already has? To find that out, I'm going to add them. But then, once I get this, I'm going to have to figure out the difference. Difference tells us to subtract. So I will do 8 and 1/4 minus whatever this is. If I set that up in an expression, it will be set up like this because these parentheses tell me to do this first. Well, these are related. I can super easily turn my 3/4 into 8ths. 3/4 equals 4 times 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. So now I've got 2 and 6/8 plus 4 and 5/8. 6 plus 5 is 11/8. That's improper. That's 1 and 3/8. I still need to add my wholes. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 1 and 3/8. So over here I have 7 and 3/8. So now I can rewrite this as 8 and 1/4 minus 7 and 3/8. I'm going to have to get that other sheet of paper out because I'm running out of space. 8 and 1/4 minus 7 and 3/8. Well, I know I can do 1/4 into 8ths. 4 times 2, so 1 times 2 is 2. 8 and 2/8 minus 7 and 3/8. I can't do 2 minus 3, which means I'm going to have to rename it. Break down my 8. 1 whole less than that is 7. And I have 8/8 because that's what I'm working with. So I'm going to cross out my 8 because I'm not calling it an 8 anymore. But then I need to take my 2/8 that I already have and add it to the 8/8 I just renamed for. So now I have 7 and 10/8 minus 7 and 3/8. I always do fractions first. 10 minus 3 is 7/8. Then I do my whole numbers. 7 minus 7 is 0. So the third block of wood needs to be 7/8 inches tall.